The year I was poorest. I found a homeless boy playing guitar. He worked odd jobs with me and slept in the basement with me at night. Later I told him, "I'm marrying a rich man. I don't need you anymore." When we met again, he'd become a chart-topping singer who cornered me against a wall. "Didn't you get married? Where's the husband?" I said expressionlessly. "Dead." He pointed at himself. "Got a live one here. Want him?" Chapter 1. Ethan released a new album. Unlike his previous styles, all 18 tracks were cloyingly sweet love songs. Overnight, every social media platform exploded as fans and casual listeners debated, had Ethan finally fallen in love? If true, it'd be like the sun rising from the west. After all, Ethan was notoriously known in the industry as perpetually single material. He'd once filmed a variety show with rising star Sophia, whose team had even prepared PR drafts about their fabricated romance. Yet when she reached for food, he spun the lazy Susan. When she drank water, he slammed the car brakes. Despite countless shared frames, editors couldn't salvage a single chemistry-filled clip. Sophia finally snapped Ethan. "You'll probably die alone." Ethan snorted. "Relationships? Even dogs wouldn't bother." Some speculated Ethan had been dumped by an ex and sworn off love. This theory was quickly dismissed. Netizens refused to believe any woman could resist that godlike face, let alone break his heart. I didn't believe it either. Unless you count me being that ex. I hadn't planned to listen to the album, but Amy kept playing it beside me while nudging. "When everyone realizes Ethan wrote these for Sophia, won't it blow up?" Sophia was the very same variety show co-star. Ironically, I now worked as an assistant in her team, with Amy as my colleague. Within hours, rumors about Ethan and Sophia dating trended worldwide. The man who'd barely spoken to Sophia before had now composed 18 songs for her. Fans went wild, claiming Ethan had finally awakened. Enemies to lovers trope achieved. As if confirming the rumors, Ethan personally visited Sophia's film set that afternoon. Mr. Johnson brought treats for the whole team. Amy hauled in bags of milk tea and cakes. Colleagues gushed between bites, "So thoughtful. Love me. Love my crew, that's real devotion." I sat silently reviewing PR drafts Amy wanted me to send to influencers later. They claimed Ethan had loved Sophia for years. How when straight men love, they go all in. Acidic seawater seemed to fill my chest. Closing my laptop, I fought nausea. Leaning over a hallway trash can, dry heaving, I looked up into obsidian eyes. Ethan. Sophia stood beside him, their golden couple aura blinding. "Emily, are you unwell?" Sophia asked. Ever the caring boss. Ethan shoved hands in pockets. Gaze averted like this was beneath him. I shook my head. They walked away. But Sophia turned back. "Emily, are you pregnant?" In my periphery, Ethan's long strides froze. After a beat, I whispered, "Yes." Sophia gave me half a day off. I went to the parking lot to find my car and saw a Maybach blocking it. Fortunately, the owner had left a number. When I called, a middle-aged man answered. "Need me to move it?" "Hold on." 10 minutes later, a figure stopped in front of me. "Ethan." I froze before lowering my gaze and stepping aside. Unexpectedly, Ethan closed the distance between us in one stride. "Ethan, can I help you?" He jingled his car keys. "Didn't you ask someone to move this?" But the voice on the phone hadn't been his. Ethan glanced at my used Volkswagen Beetle, its shabbiness magnified next to the luxury sedan. "Emily," he sneered, "weren't you supposed to marry into money? Doesn't look like it worked out." I waited 2 beats before smiling calmly. "That's all right. As long as you found someone better. Congratulations." His eyes locked onto mine as I maintained neutral eye contact. Without warning, Ethan exploded into motion. He yanked open the Maybach's door and dragged me inside. "What are you doing?" I struggled against his grip. You have a girlfriend. And I'm being a gentleman by personally escorting my girlfriend's staff home. His laugh held no warmth. The car lurched forward with the same volatile energy as its driver. My head nearly hitting the dashboard before I scrambled to buckle up. Rain began pelting the windshield as I studied Ethan through the rearview mirror. Fame suited him tailored black suit. Balenciaga sunglasses dangling carelessly from the collar. Cedarwood cologne wafting from the driver's seat. This polished stranger bore no resemblance to the feral stray I'd found under the overpass 3 years ago. Back then, I'd stumbled upon Ethan after his midnight brawl with homeless men fighting over busking territory. He'd been all split knuckles and broken guitar strings. Rainwater diluting the blood dripping from his eyebrow. Against my better judgment, I'd offered my umbrella, let me clean that before it gets infected. The wolf who'd taken on 7 men became unexpectedly docile in my tiny apartment. He'd flinched but stayed silent while I disinfected his wounds. When I split my convenience store sandwich with him, he'd grimaced. Tastes like processed junk. Want something better? I'd taken an exaggerated bite. Chez Chiz's cakes don't use preservatives. Of course. 1 slice costs $20. Feel free to upgrade. He'd eaten the sandwich without further complaint. Ethan started crashing on my floor. By day I worked odd jobs while he buskied. His phenomenal voice offset by his prickly demeanor. Only the flower vendor girl received his rare smiles. Got a crush? I'd teased once. His ears turned crimson. Emily, are you brain damaged? I discovered his motive that Friday when he met me with 24 roses. You're single, right? Real smooth. Buy flowers first. Ask questions later? Doesn't matter if you're not. His intensity startled me. Dump him. Choose me. I'd laughed nervously. Are you even legal? He'd stormed out. Roses left crumbling on my doorstep. That night, I awoke to his insistent shaking. Here. Take this. What? Is it money? I rubbed my eyes. You're dreaming about cash even now? Ethan snapped. It's my ID. See? I'm legal now. Ethan and I started dating. During our first week together, he still slept on the floor, blushing at every kiss and hug. The purity of an 18-year-old boy's devotion was downright astonishing. Finally, I patted the bed, come up here. 2 hours later, I deeply regretted that decision. Youthful enthusiasm lacked technique but overflowed with sincerity. As dawn approached, he pulled me into his arms, kissing my sweat-dampened cheek. Emily. Do you love me more than anyone in the world? You're my second favorite. Ethan instantly flared up, bolting upright. Who's first? The dollar bill. Ethan blinked twice before consoling himself. Well, at least it's not another guy. He settled back beside me, wrapping his arms around my waist contentedly. The memories dissolved into the torrential rain hammering against the windshield. Ethan slammed the brakes, his Maybach halting outside my tenement building. 3 years later, I'd upgraded from a basement to a tiny studio in an old apartment complex. I reached for the door handle, but his grip stopped me. Where's your husband? His knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. Have him come down to get you. Silence thickened the air between us. Didn't you dump me for some rich guy? Ethan's laugh held ice. Doesn't he pamper his wife? Make him come fetch you. He's at work, I said evenly. Emily. His palm slammed the horn, the sudden blare slicing through the downpour. Still lying to me? What married couple lives here? I asked your team. They all said you're single. Why would he ask that? What would Sophia think? Not that it mattered, the Taylor heiress would never feel threatened by an assistant. She'd probably chalk it up to Ethan's boredom-fueled gossip. Meeting his glare calmly, I stated, he's dead. Ethan's eyes widened. Yes. My husband died. But you said you're pregnant, from some random guy. I unbuckled the seatbelt. Anyway, none of your business. I stepped into the deluge. Rain instantly drenching my clothes. Ethan didn't follow as I stumbled toward the building entrance. What's the point of all this? Truthfully, I'd always known Ethan wouldn't stay mine. Even when we'd worn thrift store clothes. His privileged upbringing bled through. But I never imagined the scale, the Johnsons. Lynn City's most powerful dynasty. Their empire spanning the nation. 18-year-old Ethan had fled to pursue music. Clashing with his family. Yet eventually, all prodigals return home. The Johnson family would never accept me either. Sophia was the daughter-in-law they truly wanted. As I walked forward, I failed to notice a puddle on the ground. Tripping over it, I fell hard onto the pavement. My stomach erupted with stabbing pain, and I doubled over retching. The Maybach's driver door suddenly flew open. Ethan stormed out, shrugging off his suit jacket to wrap around me before scooping me into his arms. Ethan, have you lost your damn mind? I yelled. We already broke up. $10,000 for every minute you stay quiet. He snapped through gritted teeth. My mouth clamped shut instantly. Unfucking believable. You really would sell your soul for cash. Ethan roared, dumping me unceremoniously into the passenger seat before peeling toward the hospital. I woke to sterile white ceilings in a hospital room. Ethan sat nearby, his expression glacial. The baby, did I lose the baby? I clutched my abdomen dramatically. Emily, the Oscars should be ashamed they haven't given you a trophy yet. Ethan tossed medical charts at me. Gastritis. How the hell have you gone years without learning to eat properly? I scowled. Must you always be so crude? Yes. Your fans would be devastated. They all know I'm an asshole. True enough. Ethan had always been like this, all sharp edges and hotter temper. His words cutting as deeply as his actions. Even when we dated, he'd never spared me his barbs. Yet he'd written 18 love songs for Sophia. The words slipped out before I could stop them. Ethan's face darkened dangerously. That comment? Not a fan. His voice dropped to sub-zero. Consider every cent from your silence revoked. Now I paled. Ethan snorted, thrusting a steaming mug at me. Drink. The bitter herbal stench made me recoil. Must I? 10 grand per sip. Promises are cheap. Ethan. He snatched my phone, scanning the Alipay QR code before I could blink. Seizing the cup, I downed the foul liquid in 3 gulps. Damn him for making the dose so small. When I looked up, Ethan wore an expression I hadn't seen in years, soft. Almost smiling. He schooled his features into their usual scowl when our eyes met. Still remembered how I hated cigarette smoke. Apparently. Ethan. My voice sounded foreign to my own ears. If you're being nice to get back together, don't flatter yourself. His laugh held ice shards. As Sophia's team member, I need you healthy enough to keep serving her interests. He searched my face hungrily. I gave him nothing but blank neutrality. The silence stretched until Ethan suddenly hurled his cigarette case against the wall. Fuck. This isn't how Sophia said it would go. He loomed over my hospital bed, raw desperation cracking through. Emily, tell me you never loved me at all. The door slammed behind him before I could respond. Alone in the sterile room, I stared at the trembling 4-tube in my arm. Had he wanted me to be jealous? I used to be an extremely jealous person. Ethan looked really good tall with broad shoulders. Even in that cheap $1.50 wholesale market tee, he looked like he'd been torn straight from a magazine spread. When he went to buy greens at the grocery store, the middle-aged cashier would slip extra tomatoes into his bag while cooing about what a handsome young man he was. Every time we walked through the park, he'd get swarmed by parents waving their kids' dating profiles. After escaping one particularly aggressive matchmaking mob, I glared at the sidewalk. 18-year-old Ethan poked my shoulder. What's wrong? Someone's just too popular. I sneered. He ran fingers through his hair. Preening. Gotta keep up appearances for my future wife. Don't I? Who said anything about marriage? I rolled my eyes so hard it hurt. Gimme time to save up. His dimples flashed as he grinned. That damn smile made him look like a golden retriever puppy. He started bartending nights at this upscale lounge. Second shift. I got the call. Ethan was in trouble. Some cougar had stuffed cash down his collar while groping his abs, demanding his hourly rate. He'd thrown the money back at her and walked out. But the woman had connections. Next day, 7 guys cornered him in the parking lot. I found Ethan in the ER with a broken arm and 2 fractured ribs. Eyes closed against the fluorescent lights. When I collapsed at his bedside, his good hand rose weakly to wipe my tears. Don't. He rasped, wincing with each shallow breath. Why didn't you tell me when she first harassed you? Didn't want you mad. His bloodshot eyes tracked my face anxiously. I pressed my lips into a thin line. With trembling fingers, he guided my palm to the bandaged ridges of his stomach. She never touched here. He whispered. Only you. The dam broke. Sobs shook my shoulders, half rage, half relief. After tucking him in, I marched out to face the scar-faced ringleader leaning against the corridor wall. Listen, sweetheart. The man sneered, flexing tattooed knuckles. We're not some Sunshine Gardens apartment 1003. My voice cut through his bluster. You're Mrs. Sue's cousin. His smugness evaporated. I'd scrubbed enough toilets in that luxury high-rise to know all their dirty secrets. The steel magnate's mistress hiring male escorts? How long before your sugar daddy finds out? The gangster lunged, stopped cold by Ethan's gravelly snarl. My battered boyfriend stood braced in the doorway, for pole trembling in his grip. The silent standoff lasted 10 heartbeats before Scarface backed down. We walked away with triple damages and a no-contact agreement. Later, as I changed Ethan's bandages, he nuzzled my neck. My badass queen. Almost get killed again and I'm divorcing you. I snapped, fingers gentle on his bruises. Back then, Ethan lived to get reactions from me. My anger meant I cared. Is that why he's writing 18 love songs for Sophia now? The thought flickers briefly before I crush it. Absurd. Ethan and Sophia have nearly 100 million combined followers. His album production costs millions. All that just to spite me? Please. Who the hell do you think you are? Emily? Ethan had his heart shattered by me 3 years ago. I opened that album. The first track titled Pure Heart. In Ethan's eyes, I'm the kind of woman who'd sell her soul for money. About as pure as a back-alley poker game. Closing the music app, I opened social media to drown myself in those picture-perfect clips of Ethan and Sophia looking like Hollywood's golden couple. Then it hit me, a nuclear bomb of a trending topic: Ethan caught cheating. Gossip blogs posted 18 damning photos. Ethan spotted accompanying mystery woman at hospital. The rumor mill went into overdrive. By the time I saw it, hospital insiders were claiming he'd taken her for a pregnancy exam. Writing love songs for Sophia while knocking up some floozy? Sophia's fanbase went ballistic. Their wrath flooded every comment section: scumbag, drop dead, songwriting sleazebag, Mr. Forever alone, my ass baby daddy in hiding. When the photos got enhanced, my face got recognized. I sent that Sophia's assistant? Right. She's in all the event photos behind Sophia. Doxed. Her name's Emily. The internet hate machine turned on me, home-wrecking skank. Sneaking into Sophia's circle to steal her man, disgusting. No matter how careful you are, it's the traitor within that's hardest to guard against. A few brave souls tried. Wait, did Ethan and Sophia ever actually confirm dating? But their comments got buried under the digital riot. Fan armies clashed across platforms. Ethan's defenders strained, friends can go to hospitals together. Sophia's fans counterattacked, open your eyes. Look how he's shielding her. Chain smoking outside the 4-room like his world's ending. Might as well tattoo. I knocked her up on his forehead. I studied the photos. There stood Ethan, guarding the hospital room like a shell-shocked soldier. When my stomach pain knocked me out, he'd actually looked that terrified. But 3 years ago, he'd slammed the door screaming, "Drop dead before you ever come crawling back." My phone rang with an unknown number. Fumbling to answer, I heard, "Miss Brown. Remember me?" My lungs seized that polished, Arctic tone could only belong to Mrs. Johnson. 3 years back, that same voice had calmly stated, "You'll break up with Ethan regardless. Do it yourself, and I'll write you a check. Force my hand, and you'll both suffer while getting nothing. Name your price to dump him." Resistance was futile. Mrs. Johnson always engineered checkmate scenarios. Like now, seconds after hanging up, black-suited men materialized at my hospital door. They escorted me to the Johnson estate. That mansion straight out of a Netflix drama loomed before me again. Mrs. Johnson sat rigidly on her mahogany throne. Face stormy. "Emily, you'll be the death of him." She glared at me. "Are you pregnant?" My stomach twisted as I shook my head. Face pale. "No. Ethan and I haven't spoken in years. He was visiting Sophia on set when we crossed paths. He just gave me a ride to the hospital. That's all." Mrs. Johnson fell silent, weighing her options. "Here's what we'll do," she finally said. "You'll record a statement denying any past or future involvement with Ethan." Like hell she will. The door slammed open as Ethan stormed in. He planted himself between me and his mother. "What gives you the right to demand that? Ethan, do you understand what this scandal could do to your career?" Mrs. Johnson's voice shook. "Everything you've built." "My career?" Ethan's laugh held no humor. "Since when did you ever care about that? How many guitars did you smash? How many demo tapes burned before I made it big? You only started claiming me as your son after I got famous." The color drained from Mrs. Johnson's face. "Your version of success requires constant applause. Mine?" Ethan grabbed my wrist. "Mine only needs 6 strings and a stage. Let's go." He practically dragged me to the Maybach's passenger seat. His hands trembled on the steering wheel, that familiar tension in his jaw when holding back emotions. "Ethan." "What?" "Your mother's not entirely wrong." "Shut it. Your new album, it's brilliant. People need to hear." "Get out." "Okay." I reached for the door. "Better I leave before paparazzi spot us." His hand closed over mine. "Emily, why?" His voice cracked. "Why would you think I care more about fame than you?" I turned to see unshed tears glistening in his eyes. Ethan, who'd weathered countless hate campaigns without blinking, was crying. "Are you?" "Allergies." He jerked his face away. "From reading those vile comments. Public figures have to." "I'm not crying for me." He exploded. "Those animals called you, the things they said, when I couldn't find you at the hospital." His knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. I thought, Christ. "Emily, you're just a civilian. How could you handle that kind of mob cruelty?" A tear slid down his cheek. The same man who'd laughed off death threats during his debut tour now shook with rage over my mistreatment. "Hey!" I called out. Ethan didn't turn around. I poked his shoulder and whispered, "I'm okay." "Really? Did I ever tell you about my childhood?" My voice trembled. I never shared my past with anyone. But seeing Ethan's rigid back, I needed him to understand. My mom was a bar hostess when she met my father, a married man. After I was born, my vision blurred. Neighbors would spit when I walked by, called me a dirty woman's bastard. A tear slipped down. "So you see? These online comments mean nothing. I've endured worse." Strong arms suddenly yanked me against a cedar-scented chest. Ethan's embrace felt dangerously comforting. Exhaustion from 24 sleepless hours and gnawing stomach pain finally overwhelmed me. I stopped struggling. When I awoke in my dingy apartment, sunlight revealed Ethan asleep in his designer clothes, absurdly out of place. I reached for a blanket. His hand snapped around my wrist. Emily. My full name sounded like a death sentence. I've searched every inch. Where's your fucking rich husband? 3 years flashed before me, Mrs. Johnson's icy stare. The Chanel bag I'd flaunted. My cruel lie about choosing money over him. Ethan loomed over me. 6 feet of fury. Tell me you never loved me. Never. My throat tightened. I just wanted an 18-year-old's perfect abs. Free entertainment. His shirt buttons flew across the room. Better than ever. Still free. He roared. Muscles rippling. Take your damn pick. I swallowed hard. What about Sophia? Fake. He paced like caged tiger. You get imaginary sugar daddies, but I can't have decoy girlfriends? Didn't think you'd play along. Ethan's anger dissolved. I'll fix this. His whisper broke. Quit acting. Go back to busking. My headache spiked. He'd never understand I'd sold my soul to protect his career. This brilliant man shouldn't be shackled to my mess. Ethan. What? I met his stormy gaze. Your flight's in 6 hours. You're doing that Variety interview. His jaw dropped. You're still managing me? After everything? Always. My fingers brushed his stubble. The world needs to see you shine. Ethan's lips crashed into mine, tasting of 3 years' heartbreak and yesterday's coffee. The blanket slipped as he growled against my mouth. Cancel the flight. Do you still want to get back together? Ethan propped himself up on the hospital bed, eyes instantly lighting up. 3 years have passed. That stray puppy singing under the overpass? Not my type anymore. I leaned closer, voice softening. But a rising star blazing his own trail? Now that's worth considering. Rising to my feet, I delivered the ultimatum: if you ever want another chance with me, stop this self-destructive spiral. Ethan left. When I finally got the alert and rushed to the green room, he was already deep in negotiations with Sophia. My entrance made Sophia arch an eyebrow, though she kept her gaze fixed on Ethan. This promotional partnership was approved by both our management teams. My new film needs buzz. Your album launch requires momentum. Her manicured nail tapped the contract. We had your consent. You agreed verbally. You told me this would make Emily jealous. That if she showed any sign of caring, we might. Ethan's voice cracked. He'd been facing away from the door, unaware of my presence until Sophia's silence made him turn. The words died when our eyes met. All I'm saying is this arrangement benefited us both initially. Sophia smoothed her couture dress. Don't paint me as some scheming villainess. Had we let the rumors fade naturally, the public would have dismissed our relationship as PR. No harm done to my projects or your romantic pursuits. She tilted her head, pearls glinting. This mess escalated because you panicked and botched the narrative. Am I wrong, Ethan? The pop star slumped like a scolded golden retriever. Sophia finally turned to me. Emily, please tell me you don't see me as the wicked stepmother in this fairy tale. Hardly. You've always been after exposure. I took the seat beside her. Sophia, you've got 2 options here. First is the standard silence protocol: play the blameless victim. But let's be real, heartthrob cheats on superstar with civilian makes you look pathetic. Not sympathetic. Especially when you're auditioning for that femme fatale role. Her crimson lips tightened. Option 2? High risk. Astronomical reward. I leaned forward. Become the first celebrity in entertainment history to weaponize authenticity. That night, Sophia faced 47 microphones in an unprecedented press conference. Of course we fabricated the romance. Her laugh sparkled under the flashbulbs. Who doesn't stage manage relationships in this industry? Difference is, I'm admitting it. Reporters gasped as she continued. Why'd Ethan play along? Oh, please. That lovesick puppy just wanted to make his ex jealous. A perfectly timed wink. Yes. The girl from the paparazzi shots Emily. She stood by him through lean years. Now he's too scared to beg properly for another chance. By midnight, #NoFilterSophia dominated 8 trending slots. Memes flooded social media. Queen of keeping it real. Icon stays booked while playing third wheel in someone else's love story. Taylor's the only A-lister with functioning brain cells. When Sophia handed me the bonus check, her smile held new respect. You've earned this. Emily. My new independent studio needs a PR director. Let's make entertainment history. Did you hear my rival company tried to poach you? Would you have said yes? Sophia asked. I shook my head. You gave me this job during my darkest days. With a salary 30% above market rate. I've always been grateful. Back when my previous employer had fled with unpaid wages, leaving me 6 months' paychecks dangling, I'd resorted to night market stalls to survive until Sophia offered me this lifeline into a new industry. Sophia blinked, then chuckled. As much as I'd love to take credit, she leaned closer, breath tickling my ear. Ethan begged me to hire you. Though I kept you afterwards because you're damn good at your job. She added, shrugging. Honestly? I get why Ethan's so obsessed with you. Meanwhile, Ethan gave an interview confessing all 18 songs on his album were written for me. She lied about being married. So I thought, if she brought her husband to my concert, I'd sing those 18 saccharine tracks straight at her, he smirked. Imagine the poor bastard's face. Then I could sweep her off her feet properly. Netizens roasted him frowny-faced childish. Selfish. Unhinged. But goddamn if they aren't the most shipworthy train wreck, why doesn't anyone love me like this? Sobbing, manifesting a boyfriend with this level of romantic obsession. Ex-boyfriend works too tbh. Fortunately, Ethan's public image had always been gloriously unhinged. So no scandal could dent it. When the storm passed, I found him waiting outside my apartment one dawn. Sunglasses hiding sleep-deprived eyes. You're all dressed up. Where to? He demanded, paling when I said a blind date. With who? Which loser, to mess with you? Ethan's jaw twitched. Think it's funny to toy with me? 3 years ago with the marriage lie. Now this? If I fall for your tricks again, I'm a fucking. Could be real though. I adjusted his crooked sunglasses. Sophia told me you'd come. That's why I dressed up. He froze. Ethan. I'm Emily. 24. Single. I accept. He blurted. Accept what? Marriage. Isn't this our date? He yanked me toward his car. Date successful. Let's get licensed. I facepalmed. You realize your family will riot. Ethan triumphantly texted photoshopped marriage certificates to the Johnson family group chat. I elbowed him. Your mom will notice the groom's age. You're still 2 months shy of 22. Then lie better. He countered. Eyes blazing. Tell her we're having a baby. Once it's official, she'll have to accept it. I burst out laughing. Ethan, there are so many things I haven't told you. The sudden tension in his grip told me he already knew. I lied to you a lot too. Like what? Like when I swore I'd never come crawling back. Yet showed up the very next day. Ethan murmured. I went home and stole my childhood savings account. Figured if you only cared about money. I had some too. I'd let you stay for the cash. But you ghosted me so hard. Vanished with every trace. Who moves out that fast? I stayed silent. I'd fled like my life depended on it that night. One day later and Ethan showing up at my door would have destroyed my resolve. That rich guy's fake. Right? Even if you took money, it could only be from my mom. Ethan suddenly perked up. Hey, how much did she offer you anyway? After long silence, I rolled over. Sleep. Ethan flipped me back. Tell me. Sleep. Not until you talk. 5 million. Mom's not that cheap. 10 million. Emily. I can hear you bullshitting through the phone. 200 million. Ethan started tickling me mercilessly. Between gasps. I blurted, I didn't take it. He froze. Then smacked my forehead. Emily. Are you brain damaged? You love money. Should've taken it. Yeah. I nestled into pillows. Must be waterlogged. But back then, when she asked what price would make me leave you, my voice softened. I kept wondering, what's Ethan worth to me? Couldn't put a number on it. So I thought, let's keep him priceless. Silence hung thick. When I turned, Ethan gripped my face away. Tears? No. Ethan. You cry cheaper than dollar store jewelry. Shut up. Typical Ethan. Snarling insults while yanking the blanket over us. The air grew feverish. Breaths tangling. Ethan. I love you. All those lies over 3 years, the truth stayed. His lips brushed mine after eternity. Yeah. I know. Ethan's perspective. 3 years apart. Ethan's teeth ground at Emily's mention. He imagined her married to some cash-flushed loser, probably balding. Paunchy. Buying Chanel bags to trap girls. She'd be home counting blood money right now. He fumed. That mental image wrecked him daily. Rich bastard didn't deserve her. Nobody did. If the other person is older, does that mean they'll die sooner? The moment this thought crossed Ethan's mind, he immediately felt relieved. He became convinced there was still a chance for him and Emily to reunite. With renewed determination, he threw himself into daily workouts, suddenly finding unprecedented motivation for fitness. If they got back together, he'd definitely ask Emily whether he outperformed her husband in every way. Mrs. Johnson and others constantly called him immature. But Ethan couldn't care less. If being loyal, devoted, and hopelessly fixated on one person counted as immaturity, then he'd proudly remain a child forever. Besides, Emily truly was one of a kind. Ethan had imagined countless reunion scenarios, dramatic airport encounters, chance coffee shop meetings, even bumping into each other at charity galas. The one possibility he never considered? Finding her working at a night market food stall. There Emily stood under harsh fluorescent lights, flipping skewers with dark circles bruising her eyes. What happened? Wasn't she supposed to be living the cushy life with some wealthy husband? Before rational thought kicked in, Ethan's feet started moving toward her. Then he froze mid-step. Years of knowing Emily's stubborn pride warned him that any offer of money or job opportunities would get him chased out with the barbecue tongs. This called for reinforcements. Sophia became his reluctant confidant. Unlike other starlets who fell over themselves for Ethan's attention, the rising actress showed zero interest in him, preferring to focus on her craft. This very indifference made her the perfect sounding board. Coincidentally, their agents had been pushing for a fake dating rumor to boost publicity, something Ethan always refused. But now, if this could make Emily jealous, Ethan's pulse quickened at the possibility. He strong-armed Sophia into hiring Emily for her team, demanding they pay 10 times the standard wage with him covering the difference. Sophia rolled her eyes so hard it looked painful. Ethan, do you think everyone shares your warped relationship with money? If I offer decuple salary, Emily will think I'm running a pyramid scheme. She'd never accept this. Soon paparazzi flooded social media with photos of Ethan visiting Sophia. In reality, he badgered her daily for Emily updates. Was she really married? Why so thin? Did she mention him? Sophia finally snapped during one interrogation. The world actually thinks I'm into you? Please. You're like a broken record, Emily this. Emily that. I've got suitors lining up from here to Mars. I'd have to be brain damaged to fall for someone obsessing over another woman. Ethan shrugged off the rant. Sophia's feelings meant nothing as long as Emily might still care. He began flooding her production team with gourmet treats, ignoring Sophia's protests about her diet. "These aren't for you," he'd say while ordering entire cake collections from Chez Chiz. He remembered teenage Emily pressing her nose against the bakery window, grumbling about $20 cake slices being daylight robbery. Now he had assistants deliver every flavor daily. Mental notes piled up. She finished the raspberry one. Hates chocolate. Raved about pistachio to coworkers. Ethan meticulously recorded these observations in a leather-bound journal. When they reconciled, this chronicle of devotion would move her to tears. Instead, he noticed Emily eating less cake each week. Then came the hallway encounter, Emily retching over a trash can. When Sophia bluntly asked about pregnancy, Emily's quiet yes shattered Ethan's carefully curated world. Ethan felt like the world was collapsing around him. He returned to the lounge and threw away that little notebook, then went digging through the trash to retrieve it. Would he really end up raising another man's child someday? Maybe he should start Googling how to bond with stepchildren. Ethan even pictured himself playing Legos with some faceless kid when he realized Emily had tricked him again. A stomach infection? She'd acted out an entire pregnancy scene. How did she keep fooling him every damn time? Whatever. He'd take the bait. Then the cyberbullying happened. When Ethan saw those hateful comments, his usual water off a duck's back attitude evaporated. Every cruel word about Emily stabbed through his chest like shrapnel. He stormed to the hospital, whisked her away from the Johnson family estate. She kept insisting she was fine, yet fell asleep mid-sentence in his passenger seat. Fishing her keys from her purse, he carried her upstairs. The studio apartment told the real story. You couldn't swing a cat in here, let alone hide a secret husband. She'd lied for years. Anger bubbled up but dissolved into aching tenderness when he spotted the ledger on her desk. Pennies tracked like gold bars. $15 for QQ Music? His digital album. Page after page showed the same purchase every release month. All these years she'd pinched pennies, splurging on oatmeal for breakfast meant instant noodles at night, yet never missed buying his work. Suddenly he was back in that cramped dorm room. Her arms around his waist. Breath warm against his neck. Ethan, you'll shine brighter than any star. Screw the fame. He'd trade every spotlight to rewrite their story. Later, he discovered the truth. No $1 million payoff from his mother. That Chanel bag she'd flaunted? A counterfeit with crooked logos even a rookie could spot. He never asked why she'd woven this tapestry of lies. He already knew. Pride and insecurity had built her glass castle. She loved him too fiercely to clip his wings, swallowing every jealousy until it turned to acid. Not this time. Ethan wouldn't fall for her deceptions anymore. He'd dismantle them brick by brick. In her thrift store sweaters and dollar store ramen, she'd been his treasure all along. And